Today I wanted to start talking about Benji Marino. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you're probably already subscribed to me, but maybe you clicked on it because you don't know who Benji Marino is and you're curious. So in that case, Benji Marino doesn't exist. Benji Marino is the main character in a book that I wrote and published earlier this year. So I've sort of got into the habit of posting videos related to leaving Wishville, and I talked about my book again and again and again, and honestly, it's been kind of keeping me from moving on to a new project. So consider this video my farewell, my goodbye message to Benji and all of the rest of the characters in leaving Wishville. So I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about a term called post-creation depression. Then I'm going to share a little bit about the future of my YouTube channel and the direction that I've decided to take it. And then lastly, I'm going to be making a YouTube announcement, and if you found my channel from my writing related videos, like for example my I wrote a book when I was 13 video or my 7 tips for teen writers video, then I think you're going to really like the announcement that I'm going to be making today, so definitely stick around for that. Anyways, let me just dive straight into the point. Post-creation depression. What is it? There's a whole bunch of other names for it, like post-publication depression, post-project depression. Pretty much it's a term that's used to describe the feeling of finishing a project and being sad that you finished that project. I've talked to some of my friends who have published books and they felt the exact same way, where, you know, they work on a book project for a super long time and then they publish it and it's almost like a sad feeling that it's all over. There are a variety of people who have experienced stuff like this, not just writers. There's musicians, artists, even my dad, he's an architect and he does some construction and he's working on a new project right now. He just told me today, like literally 20 minutes ago, he was like, I'm pretty sad that it's gonna be over soon. My sister, who does jigsaw puzzles, she says that she always feels a little bit sad when she adds in that final piece. No matter how satisfying that piece is to fit into the 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, there's always a little bit of sadness there that this huge project that you've been working on is over. And that's something that I definitely felt with leaving Wishville, because I worked on this book for 2 years. Over 2 years. Yeah. While I was working on leaving Wishville, I always had these dreams about finally publishing my book. I always dreamed about release day. But the thing is, in order to publish this book, I prioritized writing so much in my life. I always say that I prioritized school more than my writing, but there were days when I prioritized my writing over my homework. Publishing my book was a lot more important than just a couple miscellaneous school assignments, and so I sacrificed a lot to be able to finish that book. And by the time I finally finished it, it was kind of this feeling of, well, what the heck do I do with my life now? Like, what am I going to fill my time with? Soon after publishing Leaving Wishville, which I published in February, I participated in some writing challenges. If you don't know what NaNoWriMo is, it's pretty much a challenge to write 50,000 words every November, but they also have this thing called Camp NaNoWriMo, which they hold every April and July, I believe. I decided that I was going to participate in both camps this year. You can set your own goals. I personally set mine both to 50,000. So in April I wrote 50,000 words of the story I'm working on right now, which is called Capsule. And then in July I wrote 50,000 words for the first draft of another story that I'm working on. According to my schedule, I should have been many drafts in by now, but I'm still stuck on draft 2. And I was thinking, what's going on here? And I've realized that I've sort of been stuck in the world of Wishville. I've been afraid to leave, I've been afraid to abandon this project, and I've been clinging on to every last bit of work I could do on leaving Wishville. I've just been scared of moving on because leaving Wishville I worked on for so long, and it's just, every time I worked on my new projects, I would always miss it. There's a quote that appears several times in my book, and it's "Goodbye, Wishville." And I feel like I haven't actually said that myself, and I've been trying to avoid saying that. So I just wanted to make a video where I finally just say goodbye to my book, put it in the past, and move on. I was recently watching a video by John Green, and he was talking about how after he publishes the book, he literally does not read them. He gets frustrated because he wants to edit the book, and he can't because it's published. There was one thing that I did. I never really talked about this, but I'm not going to try to hide it like it's a secret or something, but when I first first published Leaving Wishville, there were actually quite a few typos. And so if you ordered my book a while back and it has typos in it, you know that you got one of the original copies. That was the one thing that I actually regretted with Leaving Wishville. I was very happy that I took my time with the story and the entire process, but the proofreading itself, I kind of skimped on. But, you know, I corrected that, and now there's really nothing to do. It's completely finished, it's published. I have nothing else to change unless I were going to rewrite it, which I'm not going to do, obviously. So I think it's just time to say goodbye. Time to say goodbye to Benji Marino and everyone else. And yeah, this is my farewell message to Wishville. Goodbye, Wishville. And ever since I've made this decision to finally say goodbye to Wishville, I have actually been doing a lot better on finally making progress on the second draft of my new story. So, in order to finally and officially mark the end of the Leaving Wishville era, I'm going to share a little bit more about Capsule, because I've mentioned it a couple of times, but I haven't really dived into the story just because I was clinging on to Leaving Wishville, but here it is. So the story is called Capsule, and it pretty much follows a girl named Jackie Mendoza who comes across a video game that threatens the lives of 2 students at her high school. The plot has changed so much. In fact, I wrote the first 50,000 words in April, as I mentioned earlier, during Camp NaNoWriMo, and since then, I have not only been not making any progress on increasing my word count, but have been cutting out practically everything. By the time I was finished just cutting out unnecessary scenes, I only had 20,000 words left, and that's far from a novel. So I decided that I was going to participate in NaNoWriMo this year during November, the traditional NaNoWriMo month. It was kind of a crazy decision. It was super last minute. I literally decided the night before at like 11 p.m. But I'm happy that I'm doing it, and it's been going really well so far. I've been making great progress finally, and when I'm writing, I'm no longer haunted by the characters of Leaving Wishville, which is great news. The next thing I wanted to just update you guys on is my YouTube channel. This is the last video you're going to be watching where I am sitting in this room with this dark wall. Things are changing. I'm not going to mention anything because I have an entire video on what's going on right now in my life. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be coming up pretty soon, probably in a couple of weeks. Diving straight into my final announcement for this video, I'm actually starting a second YouTube channel. Well, I guess I've technically already started it because I had the contest video on there, but pretty much I'm going to be starting to post fairly consistently on my Lost Island Press YouTube channel. If you don't know, Lost Island Press is the hybrid publishing house that I run. We're actually working on a writing contest right now. If you're interested, I'll leave the video link up in the corner wherever the eye is. Here I'm going to be documenting my new projects and my writing journey, but I'm not going to be giving information on publishing and editing and writing and all of that. So if that's what you want, if you want information, go to my Lost Island Press channel. I'm going to be posting fairly consistently starting in sometime in the next few weeks, so keep a lookout. The first videos that I'm going to start releasing are actually going to be coaching videos. I've had some sample submissions sent into Lost Island Press, and I'm going to be making some video responses to them with just some general suggestions on how to improve the writing. So I think it'll be interesting to watch, and I hope to see you there. I will see you next week. Bye.